What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you this evening and talk about the Tyre Nichols funeral from last week. You know, it seemed to me that people like Kamala Harris and Al Sharpton were using their funeral, his eulogy, as a way to push their political ideals, their political agendas, and to talk about the Police Reform Act. And to me, that's just wrong, man. You know, I understand that the family was apparently okay with it, but you know, to me, man, you just don't do that kind of stuff. You know, it just seems tacky. It seems, but again, man, coming from that side, yeah, you know, I get it, man. That kind of stuff is tacky. It is wrong, but hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
So I'll just close by saying this. I was, as a senator, as a United States Senator, a co-author of the original George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And as Vice President of the United States, we demand that Congress pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Joe Biden will sign it. And we should not delay, and we will not be denied. It is non-negotiable. And with that, I'll just, Pastor, if you don't mind, one of my favorite verses in Scripture is Luke chapter 1, verse 79, which tells us God will help us to shine a light upon those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet in the way of peace. Let our memory of Tyre shine a light on the path toward peace and justice. Thank you.
Man said, I didn't do nothing. You kept on going anyhow. Why do they go ahead? Because they feel that there is no accountability. They feel that we are going to get angry a day or two and then we're going on to something else. But some of us do this every day. Some of us believe in the dream has to come true. Some of us are going to fight until we make this legislation happen. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we won't stop until we hold you accountable and change the system. Why do we want to see the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed? Because then you have to think twice before you beat Tyre Nichols. You think twice before you shoot at someone unarmed. You think twice before you chokehold Eric Garner. You think twice before you put your knee on Eric Garner's, on George Floyd's neck. Because if you don't have qualified immunity, your wife would be telling you before you leave home, behave yourself. Because we could lose the house. We could lose the car. Behave yourself. Because our savings can be gone. You want to be a tough guy? Well, let's get rid of qualified immunity and see if you learn the same manners you have on the white side of town, you'll have some manners on the black side of town.
Man, see, unfortunately, man, people like Al Sharpton, you know, they got to bring a race into this. You know, he said, you know, the policing on the black side of town should be the same as policing on the white side of town. Number one, to say that there's a black side and a white side is really kind of disingenuous, man, because again, there is no black side or white side. Black people can live in the higher income area of town. And that's what it is, man. It's about income. And again, yeah, but to divide it and say race, the reason why he didn't say the higher income area is because he wants to make it about race. Why? Because race sells. You got to make this about race. Why? Because white on white crime doesn't sell. Black on black crime doesn't sell. So you got to make it about race, man. You got to make this about race. Police brutality. 5 black cops beat a black kid to death, a young black man to death. And in a city that's majority black, with a black police chief, but somehow it's about race, man. White supremacy is at the root. And those police officers, man, they wouldn't have done that in the white area, right? There is no white area. Man, yeah, I'm sure there are higher levels of whites that live there. But is that an only white area? Of course not, man. Black people can live there. They can buy homes there. It's not about that. It's about income. But again, he's not going to say that. And again, man, we also got to be honest about the fact that higher income areas tend to have much less crime, and they tend to have much different types of crime. You know, I mean, again, they don't have the fights and the beatings and the stabbings and the shootings that you tend to have in lower income areas. I mean, again, most of your violent crimes happen within lower income areas. Now, sure, there are exceptions, but exceptions don't make the rules. So, you know, again, you know, yeah, policing is going to be different on the higher income side of things, side of town, and the lower income side of town. There's going to be difference in policing. And again, in no way have I ever been a cop, but I gotta be honest about this, and I think most people do, man. If you're a cop and you're working in the lower income area of town where there's a higher level of violent crime, you're on guard, you're vigilant, you're keeping a watch on things, right? I mean, you know, let's just be frank about that kind of stuff. And if you're working in the higher income part of town, you're not going to be as much, right? I wouldn't be. But again, man, in no way, shape, or form am I justifying what these cops did to that young man. In no way. I mean, what I saw from the tapes, that was totally unjustified. That was wrong. I don't know why they did what they did. It was wrong. It was horrible. It was hard to watch. But in no way it's about race. Again, 5 black cops in an area that's majority black beat a black young man to death in a department run by a black woman. But somehow the specter of white supremacy is the monster under the bed, the boogeyman. You know, the reason why things wound up the way they... It's something to blame on. It's something to put blame. To place blame. You know, it's not real. It's something that they gotta give people to keep people stirred up. And people like Sharpton, man, they're race baiters. They're race baiters. They know what they're doing. I think to a degree he understands what he's doing. And again, man, there's a process, man. Things that happened years ago, like slavery and Jim Crow, that kind of stuff was wrong, right? That kind of stuff was wrong. It was totally wrong. But there's a process, man. People need to understand, hey, yeah, that was wrong, man. That was horrible. And, of course, there's nobody alive from slavery times, but, people want to get upset about whatever, get upset, then forgive, and move on with your life. And that's what you teach people. If you want to set them free, but you don't want to set them free. People like Gal Sharpton, man, they don't want to set people free. They want to keep them in chains. He wants to keep himself in power. You can't keep people in power that are forgiven, that have moved on, that are at peace in their lives, that are living their lives and they're not worried about you. But you can keep yourself in power by keeping people angry, keeping people lower, keeping people suppressed. Fanning those flames, you can keep yourself in power. Because, again, those people look to you as leadership. They're angry. They're stunted in their growth. They're not going to move on. And again, man, if you're truly trying to help people out, you point them in the direction of forgiveness and moving on with their lives. So they can have a certain level of peace. So they can have peace in their lives. But see, again, man, the thing is, if they have peace, they don't need you. That's what people like Gal Sharpton, they understand, I think, to a degree. I'm not saying he understands all this, but I think to a degree, man, he understands that if he keeps people within that place of anger, that he will remain in power over those people. He's going to have a job. He's going to have a position within that community. So, again, man, people like that are just race baiters, and they know what they're doing. But anyways, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a